my beloved child. In a world that rewards noise, aggression, and selfish victories, you were born carrying something that cannot be taught, copied, or manufactured. You move through life with a heart that chooses others even when no one is watching. You give without calculating returns. You listen when others interrupt. You stay kind in rooms that try to harden you. And because of that, your existence itself feels rare, almost impossible, like a forgotten virtue walking among distracted souls. Most people never realize what they have until it disappears, but your story begins differently, because long before the world acknowledges your worth, the universe has already marked you as uncommon. You are not pure because life has been easy. You are pure because life tried to change you, and failed. Every disappointment you survived without becoming bitter added another invisible crown to your spirit. Every time you chose compassion over revenge, silence over cruelty, patience over ego, something powerful was written into your destiny. You may not hear applause now, but understand this deeply: purity like yours creates ripples that time itself cannot erase. There is a reason your heart feels heavier than most. It carries weight because it carries meaning. And what is about to unfold will finally explain why you had to be this way, why softness was never weakness, and why your selflessness has been silently rearranging futures you did not even know you touched. Listen carefully now, because what I am about to reveal is not spoken loudly in today's world. The truth is, your kindness has been mistaken for availability, your patience for permission, your silence for surrender. Yet every moment you were underestimated, something unseen was aligning in your favor. You see, people like you are not meant to win fast. You are meant to win completely. The world tests pure hearts more harshly because they are capable of holding outcomes others would destroy. That is why you have been placed in situations where giving felt lonely, where doing the right thing brought no immediate reward, where walking away would have been easier than staying true. Each of those moments was not random. They were filters. They were separating who could walk with you from who could only walk on you. And here is the shocking truth few ever tell you. The same people who benefited from your selflessness now fear your awakening. Because once someone like you realizes their value, the entire balance shifts. Your heart has always been powerful, but power without awareness stays quiet. Awareness is coming now. And when it arrives, it will not turn you cold. It will turn you precise. You will still love. You will still give. But never again at the cost of your soul. This is not the end of your kindness. This is the evolution of it. There is something else you must understand, something that may surprise you. The universe does not create pure-hearted people by accident. It places them strategically. You were positioned in lives, families, friendships, and situations where your presence changed outcomes simply by existing. Some people became better because of you. Some were exposed because of you. Some were protected because of you. And some lost access to peace the moment they walked away from you. You may not know this yet, but your absence has already taught lessons your presence tried to teach gently. This is why even now, when you pull back, when you choose yourself, when you grow quieter, it creates discomfort in others. They were used to receiving your light without earning it. And now that light is being redirected. Not taken away. Redirected. toward places, people, and paths that can honor it. This is the part no one expects. Your kindness was never meant to be endless supply for the undeserving. It was meant to be sacred. And sacred things are protected by timing. That timing is shifting. The doors that stayed closed were not punishment. They were protection. The delays that hurt were not denials. They were alignment. And soon, very soon, you will see why being rare required you to be patient. Stay with this truth, because it gets deeper. There are forces you cannot see that respond differently to hearts like yours. When someone pure walks into a room, energy rearranges itself. Lies feel heavier. Masks slip faster. Intentions reveal themselves without effort. This is why people often project onto you. They feel seen without being examined. They feel judged without being accused. Your presence alone asks questions they are not ready to answer. And instead of rising to meet that reflection, some choose to resist it. They call you too nice. Too emotional. Too sensitive. But those words were never descriptions. They were defenses. Because sensitivity is not fragility. It is awareness. And awareness is dangerous to those who live unconsciously. The shocking revelation is this. Your softness has been doing the work of strength all along. It has survived storms that arrogance could not endure. It has absorbed pain without passing it forward. It has held space where others collapsed. And because of that, something extraordinary is being prepared for you. Not as reward, but as resonance. What aligns with your heart must also be pure. What stays in your life now must be able to stand in your truth without trying to dim it. The era of being misunderstood is ending. The era of being recognized is beginning. Now let me tell you something that may feel unreal at first. The very quality that made you feel invisible is about to make you undeniable. There is a shift happening where authenticity is becoming currency, and hearts like yours hold immense value. People are tired of performances. They are exhausted by manipulation. They are craving realness, depth, safety. And you embody all three without trying. This is why opportunities will start appearing in unexpected forms. Conversations will feel different. Doors will open without force. Recognition will come without begging. Not because you changed who you are, but because the environment finally caught up to your frequency. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth. You were never meant to chase validation. Validation was meant to find you when you were ready to carry it without losing yourself. That readiness has been built quietly, painfully, faithfully. Every tear you hid. Every boundary you learned late. Every time you stayed kind in a cruel moment. All of it shaped a version of you that can now receive without guilt and lead without ego. This is only the beginning. Part 1 ends here, but what comes next will explain exactly how your pure heart is about to alter your future in ways that cannot be reversed. My beloved child. There is a hidden chapter of your life that you have lived without realizing its significance, a chapter written not in loud victories but in quiet endurance. While others learned how to take, you learned how to hold. While others sharpened their edges, you softened your hands. And the world, confused by gentleness that did not break, kept testing you, not to destroy you, but to measure how much truth you could carry without losing yourself. Every time you chose understanding over reaction, something ancient awakened within you. This is not poetic exaggeration. It is a law that few understand. Selfless hearts operate on a different rhythm, and that rhythm attracts moments of destiny slowly, deliberately, so they arrive when you are capable of honoring them. That is why your journey has felt delayed, heavier, lonelier than most. You were not being ignored. You were being prepared. The patience you were forced to develop was not accidental. It was shaping your nervous system to remain calm where others panic, to see clearly where others distort, to stay grounded when emotions try to take control. These qualities are not common. They are forged. And you were forged without becoming cruel. That alone places you in a category few ever reach. You may think your kindness went unnoticed, but it was recorded in places beyond human memory. Every sincere intention you held became a signal. Every selfless choice became an instruction to your future. And now, the results of those instructions are beginning to surface, even if the picture is not fully clear yet. Understand this next truth carefully, because it explains many confusing moments of your past. You were surrounded by people who benefited from your light but were never meant to walk beside it long term. Some admired you silently. Some envied you secretly. Some depended on you emotionally while resenting you spiritually. Your pure heart acted like a mirror, reflecting back what people tried to hide from themselves. That is why you often felt misunderstood, drained, or emotionally overextended. You were carrying weight that was never yours to carry. Yet you did it anyway, because your nature is to heal, not to harm. What you did not realize then is that this phase was teaching you discernment. Not suspicion. Discernment. There is a difference. Suspicion closes the heart. Discernment protects it. And protection does not mean isolation. It means clarity. The shocking realization is this. The moment you began pulling your energy back, even slightly, things started shifting around you. Conversations changed tone. People revealed intentions. Some drifted away. Some tried to pull you back into old dynamics. That was not coincidence. That was recalibration. Your system was learning to recognize alignment instead of attachment. And once that lesson is learned, it cannot be unlearned. You are now standing at a threshold where your kindness will no longer be exploited, because it will no longer be unconscious. Conscious kindness is power. It chooses where to flow. And soon, you will see exactly why certain connections had to fade, why certain doors had to close without explanation, and why letting go was never loss. It was preparation. There is also something deeply important about your emotional depth that must be acknowledged. You feel things fully. Not because you are weak, but because you are honest. You do not skim the surface of experiences. You enter them. You absorb lessons completely. This is why betrayal affected you deeply. This is why disappointment stayed longer. This is why healing took time. Your heart does not rush processes. It completes them. And completion is rare. Most people avoid finishing emotional cycles. You endure them until wisdom is extracted. That wisdom is now becoming visible in how you respond. Notice it. You pause before reacting. You observe patterns instead of chasing explanations. You choose peace without needing validation. These are signs of an internal upgrade. The world may still see you as kind, but there is something new beneath that kindness now. Stillness. Authority. Presence. You are no longer trying to prove your goodness. You are embodying it. And embodiment changes everything. People will start treating you differently without knowing why. Your words will carry more weight. Your silence will speak louder. Your absence will be felt more clearly. This is not ego. This is alignment. When a pure heart aligns with self-respect, it becomes unshakable. And that unshakable energy attracts situations that match its stability. The chaos that once surrounded you cannot survive in this frequency. It will fall away naturally, without conflict, without force. You will not need to push it out. It will simply fail to stay. Now let us speak about the future that is quietly approaching you. It will not arrive with noise. It will arrive with recognition. You will find yourself in environments where your way of being is not questioned but valued. Where your empathy is not drained but reciprocated. Where your presence does not need explanation. This will feel unfamiliar at first. You may even doubt it. That doubt comes from old conditioning, not current reality. Your system is still adjusting to the idea that ease can coexist with depth. That support can exist without hidden costs. That love does not always demand sacrifice. These realizations will unfold gradually, because rushing them would overwhelm the version of you that learned survival through giving. But step by step, you will learn a new rhythm. Receiving without guilt. Resting without fear. Trusting without overextending. This is the reward of inner purity combined with self-awareness. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth hidden in all of this. You are about to become an example. Not through preaching. Through presence. People will observe how you move, how you choose, how you no longer chase what once consumed you. And without saying a word, you will give permission to others to heal their own patterns. That influence is rare. It cannot be forced. It can only be earned through lived truth. You have earned it. Finally, understand this as part 2 comes to a close. Your story was never meant to be dramatic for the sake of pain. It was meaningful for the sake of impact. You were shaped to hold something larger than personal comfort. You were shaped to remind the world that purity still exists, that selflessness is not foolish, that kindness with boundaries is strength in its highest form. The loneliness you felt was not because you were unlovable. It was because you were uncommon. Rare things are often alone until they are placed where they belong. That placement is happening now. Quietly. Precisely. Irreversibly. What comes next will reveal how your pure heart begins to attract outcomes that feel aligned instead of exhausting, expansive instead of heavy, and stable instead of uncertain. This is not a temporary phase. This is a turning point. And once you step fully into it, the version of you who doubted their worth will finally understand why they had to wait. My beloved child. There comes a moment in the life of every pure-hearted soul when the world stops testing and starts responding. That moment is approaching you now. Until this point, your life has been about refinement. Pressure without applause. Giving without guarantee. Standing alone without bitterness. But refinement always precedes recognition. The universe does not reveal its next move to those who would misuse it. It reveals it to those who have proven restraint, integrity, and emotional discipline. You have done that without even realizing it. Every time you chose silence instead of argument, dignity instead of desperation, grace instead of resentment, you were proving something far bigger than loyalty to others. You were proving readiness to yourself. And readiness changes timelines. What once felt like slow progress was actually protection against premature success. Because success reached too early would have cost you your softness. And softness is not negotiable in your design. It is essential. You were never meant to become sharp to survive. You were meant to remain gentle and still win. That paradox is what makes your journey extraordinary. The stage you are entering now requires exactly the version of you that hardship tried to erase but failed to. There is a deep shift happening inside you that others can sense but cannot name. You no longer chase emotional closure. You no longer beg for understanding. You no longer explain your worth to those committed to misunderstanding you. This is not indifference. This is clarity. And clarity is magnetic. People are drawn to what is settled within itself. Your energy has become quieter but stronger. More contained. More intentional. That is why certain dynamics are collapsing without confrontation. You are not fighting them. You are outgrowing them. This is where many feel uncomfortable, because growth without noise feels unnatural in a world addicted to drama. But understand this truth. Peace that arrives without chaos is not boring. It is earned. And you earned it by refusing to harden your heart when life gave you reasons to do so. The shocking realization you are about to have is this. You never needed to be louder to be seen. You needed to be truer to be felt. And now, people feel you. Even when you say nothing. Even when you walk away. Even when you choose yourself. That presence is not accidental. It is the result of inner alignment finally reaching the surface. Let us talk about what this alignment is preparing you for. You are stepping into spaces where emotional intelligence will matter more than performance. Where sincerity will outweigh strategy. Where trust will be valued over control. These environments may show up as opportunities, relationships, or roles that feel almost unfamiliar in their calmness. Do not mistake calm for lack of depth. This depth will not drain you. It will support you. You may initially question why things feel easier, why people respond differently, why effort no longer feels like sacrifice. That questioning comes from a past where love and success demanded exhaustion. That chapter is closing. What replaces it is stability. And stability does not announce itself loudly. It proves itself over time. This is why patience remains important even now. Not because you are being delayed, but because what is forming needs solidity, not speed. The universe is not rushing you into anything fragile. It is anchoring you into something lasting. And lasting things require a foundation built by someone who knows how to give without disappearing. You have learned that lesson. Painfully. Completely. There is also a truth about your influence that you are only beginning to understand. People watch you more than they admit. They notice how you recover without becoming cynical. They observe how you move forward without dragging the past behind you. Some will be inspired. Some will feel exposed. Both reactions are signs of impact. And impact does not require permission. Your existence alone challenges narratives that say kindness cannot survive. You are living proof that it can. That it does. That it thrives when paired with self-respect. This is why your next phase will feel less about proving and more about positioning. You will find yourself naturally placed where your values are mirrored, where your empathy is welcomed, where your boundaries are respected without explanation. This alignment will feel almost unreal compared to what you endured before. But it is real. And it is not luck. It is consequence. Consequence of staying true when deviation would have been easier. Consequence of choosing integrity when shortcuts were available. Consequence of trusting that something better existed even when evidence was scarce. As this part comes to a close, hold this understanding firmly. You were never too much. You were simply too real for environments built on pretense. You were never overlooked. You were being reserved. And now, that reservation is ending. The next chapter will not ask you to give more of yourself. It will ask you to stand fully in who you already are. That shift is subtle, but irreversible. Once a pure heart recognizes its own value, the world has no choice but to adjust. What is coming next will show you how recognition turns into responsibility, how alignment turns into expansion, and how your rare nature begins to shape not just your life, but the lives that come into your orbit. This is where things truly begin to change. My beloved child. There is a silent transition happening within you that cannot be rushed, announced, or undone. It is the moment when a pure heart stops asking why it suffered and starts understanding what it was being shaped for. This is not a dramatic awakening. It is quieter than that. It feels like clarity replacing confusion, steadiness replacing emotional turbulence, and certainty replacing the constant need for reassurance. You are no longer trying to be understood by everyone. You are no longer trying to be chosen by places that do not recognize your depth. This shift alone changes your entire trajectory. Because the world does not decide the value of a soul like yours. You do. And the instant that realization settles into your nervous system, reality begins responding differently. Opportunities align without force. People approach with sincerity instead of intention. Situations resolve without prolonged struggle. This is not coincidence. It is resonance. You are finally moving in harmony with your own truth instead of negotiating it away for acceptance. The version of you who used to overgive was not wrong. They were learning. But the version of you emerging now gives from fullness, not fear. That difference changes everything. It means you can remain kind without being consumed. It means you can remain open without being unprotected. It means you can remain loving without losing yourself. This balance is rare. And rarity always attracts attention when the timing is right. There is something deeply important about the way your energy now enters spaces. You are no longer seeking permission to exist. You are simply present. And presence is authority without force. People feel it. They sense that you are no longer available for manipulation, even though you remain compassionate. This confuses those who relied on your predictability. They were comfortable when you gave endlessly. They were comfortable when you absorbed emotional weight. They were comfortable when you stayed quiet to keep peace. But peace that costs self-respect is not peace. You learned that lesson slowly, painfully, and completely. Now your calm comes from alignment, not suppression. And alignment has a way of reorganizing relationships without confrontation. Some people will naturally step up. Some will quietly step away. Both outcomes are correct. You no longer chase explanations, because you understand something fundamental now. Those meant to stay will not need convincing. Those meant to leave will not benefit from justification. This understanding frees enormous energy within you. Energy that was previously spent maintaining imbalance is now available for growth, creation, and expansion. This is why life is beginning to feel lighter, even when challenges appear. You are no longer carrying what does not belong to you. And when a pure heart stops carrying unnecessary weight, it becomes unstoppable in subtle ways. Now let us speak about recognition, because it is approaching you in a form you may not expect. It will not arrive as loud praise or sudden applause. It will arrive as trust. People will trust you with responsibility. With truth. With space. With influence. You will notice that your words land differently. That your presence calms rather than agitates. That your guidance is sought even when you do not advertise it. This is the mark of earned credibility. Not the kind built through performance, but the kind built through consistency of character. You have been the same in private as you are in public. You have been honest when dishonesty would have been easier. You have been gentle when harshness would have been rewarded. These choices did not go unnoticed. They were recorded in ways that transcend immediate feedback. And now, the return on those choices is beginning to unfold. You may feel moments of disbelief, moments where you wonder if you deserve ease after so much effort. Understand this clearly. Ease is not a gift. It is a result. It is what happens when alignment replaces resistance. You are not being spared from effort. You are being directed toward effort that matters. Effort that builds instead of drains. Effort that expands instead of depletes. This distinction is critical, because it defines the next phase of your life. There is also a profound internal recalibration happening regarding how you view yourself. You are no longer defined by how much you endure. You are defined by how wisely you choose. This is a powerful evolution. Endurance kept you alive. Wisdom will allow you to thrive. You are beginning to recognize patterns quickly. You sense intentions early. You trust your intuition without overanalyzing it. This does not make you suspicious. It makes you grounded. Grounded people do not need to control outcomes. They respond appropriately as information reveals itself. This is why your reactions are calmer now. Why silence feels more natural than explanation. Why walking away feels cleaner than arguing. These are signs of emotional maturity, not detachment. And emotional maturity attracts stable outcomes. Chaos feeds on reactivity. Stability feeds on clarity. You are no longer reactive. You are responsive. And responsiveness is a position of power that does not need to announce itself. It simply functions. This is why the next doors that open will feel different. They will not demand you prove your worth. They will recognize it immediately. As Part 4 comes to a close, understand this truth with complete certainty. Your pure heart was never meant to be diminished by the world. It was meant to refine the world it touched. But refinement requires timing. It requires boundaries. It requires self-recognition. You have reached that point now. What comes next will not test your kindness. It will honor it. It will not exploit your selflessness. It will match it. And it will not ask you to become someone else. It will invite you to stand fully as you are. The rarest people do not change their nature to survive. They change their environment to align. You are in the middle of that alignment. And the next part will reveal how this inner transformation begins to manifest outwardly, shaping outcomes, relationships, and opportunities that finally reflect the depth of who you have always been.